Political events of the last 1 week have all but confirmed that an alliance was in the making between three presidential hopefuls as the race to State House draws closer to the finish line. The outcome of a series of opinion poll surveys indicates that none of the 15 men and women eyeing the presidency in the March 4, 2013 contest can secure the country's top job in the first round, and that a run of poll was inevitable. Hence the idea of pre-election alliances born out of political horse trading to shore up support and achieve the 50% plus one of the total votes cast threshold.
The main objective of pre-election coalition is to capture power, and this is the trend that can be seen especially by countries in Africa that have elaborate experience with forming pre-election coalition, and especially countries that have presidential runoff.
In the case of Kenyatta and Ruto, it is uncertain whether their names will be on the 2013 presidential ballot paper. They are facing crimes against humanity charges at the International Criminal Court in relation to the 2007-2008 post-election skirmishes, though the ICC has insisted that nothing stops Kenyatta and Ruto from seeking the presidency. The Kenyan judiciary is expected to rule on their eligibility. The ICC issue therefore lies at the heart of the pre-election alliance involving the two.
So for them, the presidency, deputy presidency, whatever position you call it, is a place to hide. Because if you hide in those positions, the new Ocampo will not be able to flush them out.
The Kenyatta-Ruto Musyoka alliance is two-pronged. On the one hand, they are exploring the possibility of backing one candidate in case Kenyatta and Ruto are bad and seek to win the presidency in the first round. And in case they are allowed to vie, then all the aspirants could participate in the race to the end and support whoever in their team makes the cut for the run-off poll, most likely against Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Can Musyoka, who has previously been criticized for riding on the predicament Kenyatta and Ruto face at the ICC, benefit from their endorsement if they are bad?
I think Kalonzo is being lied to, and Uhuru and Ruto are enjoying it, and they're lying to him through the teeth. And Kalonzo doesn't seem to see it. I think he loves being cheated. We saw him being cheated by Raila Odinga. He never saw it coming in 2007. Raila told him, "You're the guy."
The Thursday meeting also hinted at the possibility of more presidential aspirants being roped in, and the likely targets are Deputy Prime Minister and UDF presidential hopeful Musalia Mudavadi and Justice Minister Eugene Wamalwa, who is eyeing the presidency on a new Ford Kenya ticket.
Ya Mungu ni mwengi, huenda ikawa.
Water Minister Charity Ngilu, who recently threw her hat in the presidential ring on an ARC ticket, is also said to be on the Kenyatta-Musyoka-Ruto alliance matrix.
Uhuru is only convening these people into whatever alliance they are forming so that he can dominate them. Because his value proposition, when it comes with his shares are very big, the entire emanation. And he's saying, "This is what I'm putting on the table." William Ruto comes with his share from the Rift Valley, says, "This is what I'm putting on the table." Now anybody else coming in to negotiate with these two suspects is negotiating from a position of disadvantage. So if you call in Eugene or you call in Mudavadi, you ask them, what is your value proposition?
Unlike in the past where political alliances were crafted on loose memorandums of understandings, MOUs, the political parties law requires that any pre-election or post-election coalition must be done in a structured manner.
With regard to pre-election coalition, such coalition agreement must be deposited by the registrar of political parties 30 days to the election, and that is 4th December 2012, if the election will be held in March the 4th of 2013. With regard to post-election coalition, political parties forming a post-election coalition must deposit the coalition agreement with the registrar within 21 days of signing the coalition agreement.
However, there is a catch of a legal nature here. The Political Parties Act does not provide for corporate membership in political parties. Hence, in a scenario where the pre-election pact involves one party producing a presidential candidate and the other party a running mate, then some political engineering must be done.
And that, therefore, the presidential candidate will and the running mate will actually be sponsored by one political party. It is not that party A will sponsor a candidate and then party B will sponsor a running mate. Even if that happens, then that running mate will have to run on the same party as the presidential candidate.
Political observers say while Kenyatta and Ruto may settle on an alternative presidential candidate, they would be keen on marshalling enough troops in the National Assembly as well as in the Senate to check the president, since Parliament will play a critical role in the running of the 2013 government. Article 145 of the Constitution provides for a legal mechanism of removing the president or the deputy president from power through impeachment. How safe then will be a president elected as a result of political horse trading?
So you may form a coalition, but it doesn't necessarily mean that once the coalition breaks down midway through a parliamentary term, then that president would, for example, be removed from office.
So it is not possible for us to argue now that if you have the numbers in parliament, you can harass the president. The reverse is going to be true. Actually, the presidency will harass the members of parliament. And if you have a clever president there, he'll be able to organize these members of parliament in such a way that they support whatever legislation he puts into parliament.
However, the removal of a president will not be a walk in the park. It will only involve a serious breach of the Constitution or any other misconduct or gross violation of the law. It must be supported by at least 2/3 of the National Assembly and 2/3 of the Senate.
So you can form a coalition, but then individual members in the House may decide, in the case that a coalition agreement fails, they may decide not to vote with their parties, and thereby denying the National Assembly 2/3 to impeach the president, or 2/3 in the Senate to impeach the president. So the threshold is extremely high.
Should Mudavadi and Wamalo be roped into the Kenyatta-Ruto-Musyoka alliance, what are their chances of benefiting?
That might benefit Musalia Mudavadi. It might also benefit Kalonzo Musyoka, depending on who the two choose. But at that particular moment, the hand of Kibaki will be very important, because it will not just be these two people selecting. Kibaki will come in and say, I also have an interest in this matter.
Prime Minister Raila Odinga is also wooing several political parties to show up his chances of succeeding President Mwai Kibaki. It is in the public domain that the Orange Party is courting Ford Kenya. The Prime Minister is also under pressure to pick his running mate from the Kalenjin community. Between now and December 4th this year, Kenyans can expect plenty of political alignments and realignments as presidential hopefuls craft alliances they believe can give them the edge in the Kibaki succession contest. Francis Gachuri for the Kibaki Succession Series.